Hello guys and welcome back to Tuesday's vlog. I apologise, I haven't even had time to update last week's vlog yet. It actually ran away with itself. It was, I think one of them's about an hour and the other one's about 45 minutes. I'm going to try and sift through some of it and cut some of it out. I'm just not sure how much I can cut stuff out. 9 times out of 10 when I'm saying something that I cut off the camera and I come back to come back into film, I would have to cut out half a job, so I'm not sure how that would work. So on that note, I'm not going to ramble on too much this week. I'm going to try and keep this one shorter, see if it helps any, and just go a little bit less into depth with things. If that's not what you want to see, leave us a message, let us know, say, Dan, no, I want to see more, or whatever. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm here for 4 days, full days, to show you enough of the job, start to, not start to finish, but, you know, when they come in, what gets done between the work, then when it leaves. It does run into about an hour and a half, you know, 2 lots of 45 minutes type of thing, or 1 hour, 1 half an hour, 2-part weekly vlogs. I cannot cut them down no more. A few people have said, oh, we'll make a 30-minute one. I cannot fit everything in 30 minutes, otherwise it'll just be as simple as, hi, here's the car, right, the car's finished, there you go, bye. There's not going to be nothing about it. I hope you enjoy me, bit of banter on, bit of crack, bit of a rant now and again. It's part of the, that's what it is. It's a weekly vlog of being in a garage. Being in the garage is not all about just fixing cars. It's about what goes on in the garage, what particular jobs come in that are good jobs, bad jobs, what vehicles to look out for. I try to do a bit of car buying advice, car selling advice, bringing me projects into it, day-to-day work in the garage, me dogs, me family, whatever's on in the news, anything like that. I just try to put it out there. And I'm going to put one out there, what we've been watching on Amazon Prime, believe it or not, which I didn't think my partner would enjoy. It's turned out to be quite a good series. It's called Rig, or The Rig, based on an oil rig. Quite good. Have a look on Amazon Prime. It'll be on the main highlight at the minute. It's a new one that's just come out. Well worth a watch. Bit kind of unexpected how it gets into it. I thought it was just going to be a standard oil rig issue disaster kind of movie, but it's kind of not gone that way. But anyway, it's not a movie, it's a series. I'm not used to watching series because I don't tend to normally watch stuff like that, but yeah, worth a watch. As well as, like I said on Friday, have a look at the Blot Outdoors show. A Geordie guy like me, if you don't find northern humour funny, you probably won't enjoy it. It's just not serious. Oh, it is serious camping because he camps in some pretty random places, but it's just his crack is just absolutely great, in my opinion, and I didn't expect my partner to be sitting there literally in tears sometimes laughing at some of the things he does and says. Again, it might just be northern humour. If you're not a northerner, if you're a southerner, you might not get it and you might not fight, you might think it's rubbish. Anyways, enough rambling on. What's in, what's happening? Number one, I've decided, I've used the Mondeo all weekend, I've done a couple of 100 mile in it. I'm going to have to sell it, guys. It's I've already I've got it listed at the minute on Gumtree. Nothing wrong with it, absolutely love it. If anything, it pulls, old saying, like a train. It really does pull from low RPM, nearly as good as what the Altea does, to be quite honest. Because the Altea, with it having the bigger turbo on, being the 170, they actually boost in more over 2,000, where the Mondeos more or less have almost full torque, below 2,000 revs. Nothing wrong with it, drives mint, full MOT, done all the work to it. It's just, I'm thinking here, we're coming partly nearly into, well, we're on, by the end of this week, we're midway through January. That's only 2 months off, and I'll be waking up the ZX, the C-Class, and the ML. And when them 3 come back onto the show, there's 3 cars to tax, as well as the Altea, which I've got as my daily. I just think it might be a little bit silly. Because once I take the storage I've got the C-Class in is permanent. So I can move it in and out, no bother. I can take it away one day, bring it back the next. I'm in control. I've got the remote for the garage. I don't have to pester the lady or nothing. Where my ZX is stored, unfortunately, is like a one-shot job kind of thing. Once it's out there, the guy's going to start piling his stuff back in. And that's it. So I'm going to have to be very careful with the ZX of when I decide to take it out. Unfortunately, it's the one of all the cars that's run out of bloody MOT, because it's my stupid fault for not testing it before putting it back in. So it's unfortunately going to have to be one of the first out, because I've got 2 little bushes on the back axle to do the bump stops. Not a huge job, but I want to do it before MOT, and apart from that, it's mint. It's absolutely sound for an MOT. So once that's out of there, my storage is gone. So therefore, the ZX is going to have to stay on the drive alongside the Caravan and alongside the Altea. The ML storage is permanent, that's fine as well. But I must say, with the ML, once it's back up and running and taxed, it's the kind of car that does not like being stood with the battery connected. It will go flat after a couple of weeks. So what I like to try and do as well is, once the Caravan season is here anyway and the Caravan's on the drive, I like to keep the Mondeo on the drive. Mondeo, what am I talking about? The ML on the drive next to the Caravan. So it's there to use for the Caravan. Then the ZX will be there. Then I'm stuck with the Altea. And then the C-Class is going to have to be stuck up at where it's parked now, in the garage. So, little bit, I'm just thinking, Dan, get rid of it, because if I don't, I will literally have nowhere to put that Mondeo, bar ditching it up somewhere like where I don't want it to be, where it can get damaged. And like I've said, I've got my diesel daily, which is the Altea, which I put the dogs in. I can't put the dogs in the Mondeo because I know I'm probably going to sell it, and I don't want to cover it in dog hairs. So I've made the decision to put it up for sale. If anybody's interested, let us know. Have a look on Gumtree. It's absolutely mint. I'm bringing it here to do one little bit that I need to do to it. I put a tyre on the CV, on the inner CV boot for the MOT, but I didn't do it the way I like to do it. I just quickly rushed it because I got a last minute slot for the test, so I'm going to remove that tie and put a new one on. A proper, what I class as a proper like banded CV boot tie. The other one was just like it's hard to explain. They're like steel bands, but to get them a right extra good click of tightness, it involves a lot more faffing about, which I didn't have time. So it was a temporary fix for the MOT, and I'm going to do a permanent fix. I would like that done for the new buyer. The only issues I've picked up on it is, like I mentioned on the previous video, the passenger's door is a little bit dicky on the locks. That's a common trait across the whole Mark III range of Mondeos. Now what I can do about that. Same as my black Mondeo, it's got the Chatterin flywheel. It's done that since I bought it in 2017, I think, with 51,000. I've just found the receipt on the table there and the logbook from when I owned it in 17, 18, and it did it then, and it's doing the same now. It's how they are. I'm being honest to everybody about it. It's only on idle, not when you're driving. It drives perfectly fine, pulls well, no smoke, nothing like that. But on idle, when it's at lower RPM, i.e. when it's warm, it's just chatter, 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 like that. When it's idling, they all do. My black one does what Chris has got. It's just part of the deal, what you get with a Mondeo these days. What else was that on it? I don't even know. Really, they were the two main issues. Oh, the thermostat on it is probably due change. It's running a bit cold. It doesn't mean that it's not going to... It's not overheating, it's just running a bit cold. Heater still run hot, no problem. It just, the gauge doesn't go up to half, it only goes up to a quarter. So that's all we're going to say there. So I'm just going to get this on. I'll leave that there. That's with the Mondeo. If anybody's interested, leave us a message. My phone number is on the description of every video. Give us a call, let us know. You've seen the videos of it, and I'll show you it on the lift today. In the meantime, we've got this in a Transit Connect 08 plate. And it's the, well, I'm not quite sure, I did have some writing on the other side, it's the, I think they're called the high top long wheelbase of a Transit Connect there, that T220L. I'm assuming L means long wheelbase because I think it is slightly longer. I don't know, I'm not really into these things. Maybe a high top, I don't know. I must say I've never owned one of these, rarely driven them, rarely work on them. So yeah, I think it is a slightly higher top, but I'm not sure they do a bit more of a higher one with a little bit of a like plastic stuff on the top. I don't know, but it does seem a little bit higher than normal, these. But yeah, this is in for MOT, and as you all know, with these typical Fords of this era, like they rust really badly. So we'll get it up on the lift and just see if it actually can hold itself together in one piece without snapping in half or something. Joking. But yeah, this is quite a good one. It's got the, I think it's been some kind of a dog van or something. It's got all the little vents on the top, and they were blowing a hoolie last night, spinning round. I got into the van and I thought it was something was running, and I forgot it must be the bearings and those things. They must be spinning at like flipping, 40 mile an hour, like the speed. It's unbelievable. They're like little, as you can see, it's been some kind of a dog van or something, this, because it's all boarded out. It's got electrical fuses and relays up there, 12 volt power here, Saying that, my dogs have just been in there this morning because I brought them to work in it, with the customer's permission, obviously. So, pre-MOT on this, to be quite honest, again for MOTs as well, stoplights, this top one was absolutely wrecked. Now, if they're there and they're not working, it's a fail. If they're not there and they're blanked off and the wiring's been removed, it's not part of the MOT. So there you go, like I've told you all these. So that's a fail if it's not working. If I rip the thing off altogether and cut the wires and remove the wiring, it's not part of the MOT because it's not classed as fitted anymore. It's only if they're fitted and not working. So there you go, there's a bit of information. So yeah, I've already checked the lights, wipers on it, interior, it drives all right actually. We'll get it up on the lift, we'll check the tyres, and the main thing is check the corrosion, see how bad, see how far gone it is, because I had a lot of welding done last year. Hopefully it's held up for this year. Canny little van, I must say. If it was cheap and he was selling it and it wasn't horrendous amounts of welding, I'd probably have it myself, to be quite honest. That Toyota Yaris, I'm not going to go through that. That's the other one that we had, which is all seen, you've seen it in a few times, but it's another hybrid. It's the top of the range one, like the silver one that I showed you. It's a 15 plate. It's got the glass roof, the chrome on it, the tinted windows. It was the same as the silver one, but the older shape with the different backlights. And it's got like the chrome package on it. And that's just in for service and MOT. And we've got this, which I'll show you shortly. In fact, I don't know what I've done with the key for that. I'll show you. But that Yaris is in for the normal. You see it every day, a few times a week now. We're getting them in, and there's the genuine Toyota pollen filter. It's had the air filter done, which was in this bag, and the oil and filter Toyota there. Then it's away for MOT. So that's that for you. Just thought I'd show you. Nothing more to film on that. I don't think it will be of any use for the channel, as you've just seen us doing them last week. What I will show you is this, just quickly. I might even do a love or hate on this. I don't know how these work. Let's have a look. This was the one you seen getting the window repaired, so clearly we're not going to touch that. But the spec in these things, this one in particular, is unbelievable. It's got like separate little heating aircon duct things in the back. It's got the full glass roof. It's got massaging seats. It's obviously 7 seats. You name it, this thing has got it. Bar one thing, weirdly, is heated seats. But they've got all different stage massaging seats, screens. It's got the massive windscreen that actually comes back. The screen actually meets the panoramic roof on it. It's huge. But I'll go through this later and show you. But this car's becoming very, very problematic at the minute. The CV joints are starting to go, and they're hugely expensive. There's a weird noise on the back axle, and also what it's got is there was an electrical fault on it a while ago, which has kind of just decided to disappear. I have to excuse the wind. But yeah, that's that C4 Grand Picasso. But again, the Grand Picasso, like the Grand Scenic and the Altea XL, they are genuinely the best ones to have. I cannot see the point of the normal Scenic, and I can't see the point of the normal Picasso. If you're going to have them, you may as well have the Grand one, because you've got the extra usable boot space and 7 seats. So, I shall leave that there. I probably will take a photo of that and do a love or hate, and we'll get a look and see what's going on with this van. Well, that's a Transit Connect checked over, and unfortunately, I think it's pending doom. I think it's end of the road. I found something out of the engine. The guy was on about it not starting very well. This certainly won't have helped matters. So let's get to the nitty gritty and find out what's going on. Let's have a look. Right, so obviously the front end of it ain't too bad. I'm going to struggle here because I need 2 hands, one with the light, one with the MOT inspection tool. Quite a bad oil leak. I don't think the oil's ever been changed on this van. It is like literally black paint. Looking around, believe it or not, the brakes don't seem too bad. I think we fitted new discs and pads to it front last year. This front tyre's getting a bit close on the inner edge. Not horrendous, but not great either. But unfortunately, when I take this along here, all the inner sill is gone. Now I'm going to show you here. I can't shine the light at the same time because I need... This is the MOT inspection tool. It's a plastic hammer. As you can see, you don't use that end, use this end. So, as you can see along there, that is just fallen to bits completely. So all the way along there, I know for a fact it'll be just as bad along here. And we'll just work our way along. As you can see there, it's gone through. Here it's in tatters. 4 years old, say Dan, you're whacking away. It is a plastic hammer, guys. Plastic hammer. Remember, you drive along in this thing, somebody hits you, it will disintegrate. Look at that. Good night. And I ain't being rough there, by the way. Trust us, I know people use this end of it. I don't take things that far, but there is the rest of the van on the floor. So, yeah, bottom edge of that sill, you can see it's just coming away like paper, basically. You get hit by somebody with that and you ain't coming out of it. Along here is pretty much the same. I spotted a little bit. I actually just used my finger on here to push that through. But again, get a look at that. It's just, see, it's coming away. That's just finger pressure there, by the way, guys. You can see that. So as you can see, not ideal. This bit though, perfectly fine. This was repaired. No issues there whatsoever. That's nice and hard along there. I did spot one little bit there, not the end of the world, but not great either. A bit of a hole. And obviously you've got your seat belts in the van, so therefore I'll just step back. There is the back of the front door, which is here, which means that there is within 30 centimetres of where the seats are bolted to the vehicle, where the bottom mount of the seat belt is. As you can see, that's the part of the sliding door there. So therefore this is exactly where the seatbelt mounting point is. And obviously this one's all the way along, so that's not ideal. At the back here, now if this had have been not a leaf spring design, if it had a shocker here in a spring, this area here would not be part of the MOT because it's more than 30 centimetres from a structural point of the van. With this vehicle not having seat belts, the back end of them is non-testable in a sense, but because the leaf springs come all the way back here like the caddy vans do, it means that because this here is within 30 centimetres of a structural or suspension component, as you can see, it's all gone through there. See? Great big hole there. And on this one, I think the hole was here, yeah. And this is really strong area here, because this is your tone points here and here. So this metal, if anything, should be absolutely rock solid, so that's no good. They're a fail. So yeah, not good times for the Transit Connect. In fairness, the sills could be patched. And this inner sill here could be repaired the same as this one has been, as you can see. Not pretty, but it's solid. That's the main thing. Yeah, so really, it would have to have this section here done, along here. This outer sill, I think, is okay. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That outer sill is okay, but this outer sill is not, as you can see. And it probably will be the same bit further along. So yeah, what we're going to do with that, I'm going to mark it up with some chalk. But what I am going to do now is just quickly bring it down and show you the issue which I've found as well. They're not starting, I'll show you. Yeah, so this area over here, I was a bit suspicious. I was thinking, why is there so much like oil and like darkness in this corner and nothing over there? And I was looking, well, that's where the air intake is. I was thinking, well, there's a little bit of oil around the air box. Obviously, there's oil leaking out of the intercooler pipes, which isn't a good sign. I thought I'm just going to whap the air, because he said that if you get it through the test and stuff, it's not starting very well or not driving very well. There's an air filter for you. just to compare that with like a newer one. That's an old one, but oil can's been sitting in. That's generally the colour of them. So yeah, it's definitely one of the blackest oil filters I've ever seen. And the oil's never been changed for God knows how long. And the fuel filter doesn't look like it has been. So it's been quite badly neglected, this van. So yeah, do you know what it is? I'm going to leave this video here today. I'm going to try and keep it a bit shorter. The only other thing we have got in is that sitting outside, but all we're doing is packing the CV joints with some grease, nothing to see, filthy job. And I'm bringing my Mondeo in to do a few little jobs on that, which I'm just going to stick a tie on the CV, but like I've said, nothing to see there. So we'll leave it here for today, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog on Wednesday. Hello guys, and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. Going to try and make this week a quick one, so I'm not going to go on too much, because last week's, the one I still need to upload, is a bit of a long one. Not a great deal of work involved in them. I'm just going to vary them from some weeks, some short, some longer. So what's in today? Right, well, what was in last night, more like, was a good old Astra H, like Holly's. And these used to be problems with the Astra G, the Mark IV, but the Mark V's never used to be much problem. But these, well, the kind of, I think this car's had something wrong. Somebody's touched something on it. And the wiper motor is out. They're in there. They come as one unit. That plug is an absolute nightmare to get off because you kind of get your hands to it. So the mechanism's out. But on this car from day one, this is a car I sold to the guy. I didn't sell it. A customer wanted rid of it, and basically he bought it off the customer. But this has been actually hitting up here that hard. It's damaged this. I'm actually going to get some black touch-up paint and put it on here for him, because that's not good on there. But they were horrendous, the wipers on this. They worked. MOT reasons they worked. But they just smashed off the windscreen post, which wasn't ideal. So we've got it over here. This is what I've done hundreds of them on these ones. The Astra G, but not the Astra H. They do them that much. So the wipers are here, obviously. They're the two arms. And this is what the unit is on them here. So it's got the motor with, it's actually, do you know what it is? It's a really good idea in a way, because it's an all one unit, where you get these like Fiats and stuff where they come all stupid little rods and arms. They just come as one unit like that. There was one on the floor down here. Ah, there you go. That's actually one off a Mark IV, like this one next to us. And they changed them ever so slightly because they did have a few problems with the rods. As you've seen, these had rods, and they've moved to this idea with more of like a little ball joint in them. They're the same, but ever so slightly different. But what's happened with this one, which, believe it or not, them ones used to suffer from the same fault, is they come away. They had these little braid over, I don't know what you would even call them, just little dowels basically, and it's obviously detached from it. There's not much you can do, because it's like I don't know what kind of material that is. It might even be plastic, that, so you couldn't even weld it really. So yeah, for the sake of faffing about, we're just going to go down to a scrapyard and get one, because I think they're about 400 quid plus the VAT, so nearly £500 from Vauxhall, so definitely 100% not. I've searched the numbers. I can get some on eBay second hand for like 30-40 quid, but it's the time it takes. The guy hasn't got a car, and we're stuck with this in the way, so no good. So we're going to go and have a look at the scrapyard to hopefully get one. The only issue I've spotted is that's a design spec like Holly's. I'm hoping it's not going to be an issue. This is the design, so it's got the rain sensing wipers. I can't see it's been too much of an issue, but you see it's got the sensor up there. Maybe, I don't know, may have upgraded the motor to work in a better, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see if the numbers match up. Even if they don't match up, as long as the plug in the kind of design is pretty much the same, we'll give it a try, because I know for a fact he'll not want to wait. I wouldn't want to, definitely not. Like if Holly's car went, we wouldn't be spending 400 or 500 quid on a mechanism. I haven't looked up new, what would you class it as, new aftermarket ones, and they're probably crap as well. So we'll hopefully try and get a hold of a working second-hand genuine one, which you're probably better off. You're better off with a working genuine second-hand one than a new aftermarket shite one, to be quite honest. And I will say, these were problematic from day one. I know nearly all of them. More the point with them though, the motors would go on them and the wipers would just stop anywhere, because the motors are part of them. Like this, the same, but they've upgraded them, and these never had that issue. This is actually the first one I've seen with the wipers doing what they're doing. So I just think, obviously it's worn with the miles it's got on, or somebody at some point has been rough with the wipers, who knows. But that's what that's in for. I'll update you on that. This little Yaris is in for service and MOT. I'm going to do a photograph next when I get time. This Yaris and that kind of Fiesta are two of the best little super minis you can get. 100%. I think this is the 1300 one, might not be, could be the one, but a 1300 petrol Yaris, bulletproof, and a 1.25 watt, a 1.4 petrol Z-Tech, non-eco boost, not a diesel one. Them things are absolutely brilliant. If I had to have two little cars, it'll be one of those two, 100%. But yeah, just did for service and MOT, so done the oil filter there, man one. Remember, in case you're questioning, why have you got Crossland, Dan? Well, there's a reason why I've got Crossland. I think I've showed you before, but I'll show you again. Now, Toyotas especially, an original Toyota filter comes like this, and they've got a crushable edge. That there is just like cardboard, right? If you get a MAN or Bosch one, this piece here comes as hard plastic, and obviously what these need to do, they're called a crushable edge. They don't crush. You can't. They've got a little bit of rubber on them. They're like rubber and plastic, and they do not crush. Therefore, you have such a job getting the little clips to clip them down, and you end off breaking them. So these, believe it or not, even though they're a budget filter, they are the only ones that are the same as a Toyota one, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And I will say, a Crossland air filter, I've got no issues. I would use that in any of my cars. Air filter is an air filter to a certain degree, unless we're talking about a very high performance vehicle. Again, NGK plugs are the only plugs I like to use. But when it comes to oil filters, I must say, I don't go along the line of Crossland. An air filter is an air filter, unless for some mad reason it disintegrates and blows your engine up, which it won't. Then I would say be careful. But when it comes to oil filters and fuel filters, I'm very critical. I never have done, ever, I don't think, unless it was somebody's request, fitted anything other than MAN, Bosch or Dealer, Denso, whatever, oil filter and fuel filters. Air filters, pollen filters, I'll fit what you want. I'll fit, you know, it's 6 and 2 degrees. And plugs, I don't know why, I just tend to find NGK make a much, much better quality plug than, well, all that is around at the minute. Denso's okay, but they're quite expensive. But apart from that, the Bosch ones and the Champion ones I find really, really poor. And I don't know why, because I don't find Bosch filters poor, but the spark plugs are very poor. And a lot of people have said that, like, it's not just what I'm copying saying them. I've seen them say the same things. So this quickly with this, great deal to show with this one, because it's MOT only. Unless there's something spectacular I need to show you underneath of it, I will. You've seen 100 of these before. It's just a white basic, I think it'll be a Style Plus maybe, or a Style, not even written on the back, but it's just perfect little car. You know, they're such a good car, these. Yeah, this will just be a basic Style, because it hasn't got the heated windscreen, if you notice on the heater blower. It's got the heated rear screen on the temperature one, but not that, but it's still got aircon, but obviously no cruise control. So this will just be what you call the Style spec. Step up from the base one where you probably don't get aircon. But yeah, some serious condensation going on in this car. I've just had to open all the windows to clear it out, because we wouldn't be able to see to pull it into the garage. And just quickly, but you'd have to excuse the wind. As you can hear, it's horrendous out here today, which is why another reason I'm not going to do a great deal of filming. The Mondeo, I've actually took a deposit on it, and it's possibly being collected on Saturday, going to Scotland. So goodbye old friend, been a good one, but like I've said guys, I was going to keep it, but I'm aware that in a month or so's time I'm going to have my other 3 cars on the road as well as the Altea. I can't afford to be taxing 5, that'll be 5 cars, and the Mercedes, the ML and the Mercedes C-Class are both £360 tax, so they work out at about £31 a month, so it's £60 just for the 2 Mercedes. ZX is about 15 quid. Altea is about £12, and obviously the Mondeo will be about 20 odd. It's just too much, guys, and I wouldn't be using that when I've got the Altea anyways as me diesel daily, and the other ones get used as and when, so we'll see. But anyways, this will probably be going out when the car's potentially already gone. The guy might not want it yet, but he's left the deposit and he's going to travel on the train from Scotland, so let's hope he wants it, because it's a cracking car. I've sorted out all the jobs on it, little things, so somebody's going to get a nice old car, and I've already showed you the pictures of it underneath on the Facebook page, and it is absolutely cracking for a 20-year-old one of these, one of the best I've ever seen. So I'll leave that there. I might just quickly show you a quick snippet when I've got the top box off the Toyota and show you about these crushable edges on the filters, but I'll catch you soon guys. Right, just the final update of today, unless I'll go down to a scrapyard or something, but even then it's absolutely bucketing down now. it's not going to be a nice environment. Just thought I'd show you the Yaris strip down. Obviously, nice and simple stuff. 4 coil packs. If you can leave them connected, just leave them connected. That way you can't mix them up. We've got the air filter out. I just wanted to show you. It's a little bit dirty, but this is exactly what I was telling you about. The man filter, which is here. So the only time you'll ever hear us calling the man filter. Now this is a little bit of flexible rubber over a hard plastic edge, right? And you can see there where it's been eaten into the frame at the back. And you can see the white marks there and there where it's been vibrating, rubbing and making a noise. Because when you put them together, this interlocks just with 2 little clips into the back of it. So that's why, like I've said to you, it'll be the only time you'll hear us really using a budget part over an OE one, because they are nice. If you look with my fingers, I can actually crush that down. And that's exactly what you wanted to do. And when it is crushed in between, like what that has been doing, what it shouldn't have been doing, where it's not on the rubber, it's actually been on the plastic. And that's why I don't use these, and they fit a whole lot better. And they're the plugs. As you can see, I just don't think the Bosch have got the same quality. They're not too bad actually, but with the NGKs, they've actually got, I don't know if the camera will zoom in on it or not, if I can get it to focus, is they've got a V in the electrode. Probably can't see that. You can just see it there. So they have a lot better plug to go in. So that's that anyway. So the plugs are going on. This is going to go for tyres shortly, and then MOT. But I just wanted to show you on the Fiesta. It come in sounding a bit too loud to what I expected. And obviously the rear exhaust is just totally detached. It's hard to show you. It's actually the interior part of it that has gone, which in turn lets it drop. And unfortunately it's melted the bumper a little bit. But yeah, but with these, they're fitted from the factory, you see, and there isn't a join. So you've generally got to replace them right down to here, or cut them and put a join in somewhere around. I'm not sure what's coming, but there you go. That's really the main issue for this one, for the MOT. Bar that, it'll be fine. So I'll leave that there. I'll get the Yaris built up. I might quickly come back to you when the exhaust back on this, and if anything else or whatever we'll do later on this afternoon. So I'll catch you soon. Little bit of an end-off video for Wednesday. I just thought I'd show you. Obviously the Fiesta's now had the new exhaust fitted. It's there. But with these, they come as a whole. But now when they've got secondary exhausts on, they fit on a joint from this piece. So now you can replace the centre section, if required, to the rear. But when the Ford ones come, they're all one unit. They're probably round the back, and I'll show you what's actually what went on with the other one. Hence, it's actually melted the bumper. But that's this done. The only other thing we've noticed, but there's not time today to sort it, there's a bit of a water leak on it, coolant leak. You can just see the little bits of it here. It's not horrendous by any means, but it's due to come back in for service anyway. So I've already showed you this stuff, but for now, we're just going to stick some rad seal in. German quality, and I'll show you it. It's got none of that clag and awful stuff in what that K-seal and everything does. It's just a pure blue liquid, nothing else in it whatsoever other than blue liquid, UV dye, and a little bit of UV glitter. So you can use a UV torch like what I've got over there, and you can shine it to find leaks, just a bit like air conditioning. Great stuff. It's just to get it through, because this car's got to go back to Middlesbrough. Yes, we have customers who travel long distances. This car's come all the way from Middlesbrough just to have its MOT done, and a bit of a check over, and obviously the exhaust done, which, believe it or not, wasn't even imported by the customer. I've just been driving around like that and not even noticed it. So yeah, I thank all of you guys out there who come long distances to use us. I'm massively appreciative of that, I really am. Where I've been all this time, leaving me poor dad to get on with that. Just went to get some tyres on this, and it's been that busy at Stakeford Tyres, I did them myself. So there we go. I didn't fit the tyres, but I took the wheels off to help the guys out there. Again, Rodex, in case anybody goes, oh, they're cheap rubbish. They're actually really good. I put them onto my Leon Cupra, and I'm telling you what, they're a very, very good mid-range tyre. I will say thumbs up to them. But yeah, I had to help them guys out. And also, this little centre bit broke, which they let me know, which has been put in the back box. There's another one missing anyway, and the lock and wheel nuts were getting tired. But luckily with most Toyotas, in the box where your lock and wheel nut is, you'll find 4 standard original quality standard nuts to put on. So I've just put the originals, the standard nuts back on the front. Who's going to nick them wheels? waste of time. Best advice to you guys is if you have got a locking wheel nuts, have a look in the box. If you've got a standard one in the box, take your locking wheel nuts off and put the standard ones back on. Trust us, good advice that is, not a waste of time. And yeah, that's what happened with this. Obviously, I'd come away from inside of the baffle of the exhaust, which is there, hence it was making such a noise. So that's that one done. And my dad is away now. I'm just about to get me dinner, top the coolant up on this, get it off the lift ready for MOT, and we'll get the wipe mechanism fitted to this. I might do a quick update on there. So that's it. Just been, again, a day of waiting round and stuff like that. Other jobs in this afternoon I need to get on with, so I won't be filming that. But I'll catch you and see what we'll get for this Astra if the numbers match up, and get that up and running again. And I'm going to touch up that bit of area where the paint's come off.